Welcome to Life is Full of It, our friendly little podcast. Besides Best There Is podcast, where we talk about pop culture, this one, we just talk. Me and Declan needed an avenue, and Declan's here, and we're here also with Abraham. There's no point, I guess, to saying last names, because it's always weird. Abraham's in my wrestling class, and I wanted to pick his brain. I tried to reach out to Samurai before I even joined I don't know what you call it. I was gonna say federation, but before I even joined, just so I can talk to him. But I think it's kind of hard to go on a podcast that literally has 14, 20 viewers, and you're like, what's the point? And you know what why? But I mean, I just wanted to talk wrestling with him and talk about stuff. But it's good that we got somebody on here that's kind of going through what I'm going through. And yeah, so Abraham, what is all you're there, and you've been there for how long again?
Almost a year. It's gonna be a year in March 23.
So long. That's such a long dedication.
Yeah.
Do you feel drained from that year?
I feel drained about like other things, not really so much. I always feel like I could do more because we only show up 2 times a week, you know?
Yeah, I remember Brick coming in saying that for us only doing it 2 times a week's kind of low. When he was going through training, he said it was like almost like 5 times a week or something. Yeah, I couldn't even do that with being far away. If I was closer, that would have been more doable, but I probably wouldn't make it every day. But with the whole year thing, do you feel like you kind of accomplished what you wanted to so far in a year?
I thought about it not too long ago, and I did have like a self-reflection where I do think that I had improved in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I am proud of myself for that. I kind of do wish that I really don't know when I would have my first official match like in any like SPW show or whatever. But like I had been in a battle royale in like October-ish at Auburn.
And what was that for? Just a show? Or
yeah, it was a show because like the SPWs does take bookings in like other places, and this just so happened to be in a brewery. And usually when they're like booking a match, they're like, okay, it'd be really cool to have like a battle royale, and they usually put students there to be like, hey, would you like to be in this battle royale?
So
I'd like to be in there.
I was talking to Scoop about the battle royale because I really want to be in it, but it's looking like I may not because I'm so far away.
Still green.
I'm super green, dude. It's rough. What did you have to prepare to do the battle royale, and what did you do during it?
Well, I think Chima did me the favor of like, so basically in this certain booking in this battle royale, there was a thing going on, like a segment where there's 2 people talking to each other and they were saying some stuff. I'm not really sure what because I was still in the back. But like Samurai had this idea where everybody just starts running in instead of coming in one by one or whatever. So I came running in and I didn't even make an entrance. So we all just started attacking each other. And like I first eliminated Drake Frost along with somebody else.
By yourself or with help?
With somebody else, yeah.
Because Drake is a huge dude.
Yeah, for sure.
That dude's huge.
Because like he was still hanging onto the ropes, Shawn Michaels style, like I think skinning the cat, and we were like punching his knuckles, and like he let go of the rope, and I think Scoot and Chima were talking, and Chima did me the favor of making me eliminate him.
Mm-hmm.
So he told me to pull down the ropes, and like he went for it, and I pulled down the ropes, and
he flips over it while you pull it.
Yeah, and I looked all shocked, like, oh my god, I eliminated, and after that, well, I forgot to say that before that, I did eliminate this other student, you know, Aiden, like not the big Aiden, but the other one.
Wait,
the rosy cheek Aiden.
The only I've met 2 Aidens, and the only Aiden I can remember is the one that talks about his. Well, number one, he talks to me about wrestling video games like crazy, if that helps at all. And then he talks about his cousin in Georgia that wrestles. So that's the only one I can think of. He does, I think, have rosy cheeks, brown hair. I think he has a little ponytail sometimes.
Yeah, that's him. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Because I swear there was another Aiden I met, and I don't remember that one. I can't put a face to him at all right now. But that Aiden, because he's talked to me a lot. He's really excited about the wrestling game coming out. So he's been talking to me a lot about the wrestling game. Because he knows I like to play the wrestling game as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you got Aiden out as well?
Yeah.
How'd you get so lucky getting everyone eliminated?
I just eliminated 3 people. It felt good, honestly. But we were working on like the cane uppercut. We were like, "Hey, Scoot, how do we do it?" And they showed us. So like we were just doing that in the middle of the ring. I don't know if anybody noticed, because like while in a battle royale, you just
how many were in the battle royale?
About 20 or so, I believe. After I eliminated Aiden, then it was Chima. Then I got eliminated right after by Illumide.
Which one's Illumide?
You know, from the appeal with Nathan Brick and Jason Xavier.
This is the big black
champions.
guy?
Yeah.
Big black guy? You didn't want to say black, didn't
What?
you?
I mean,
but no, but he's the Black Fox, I believe he goes by. Is
Dark
that
Fox?
Dark Fox?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That dude's... I tell my wife all the time, I go, yeah, you know, some guys here, you know, are in regular shape or whatever, but that dude's jacked. He's big. He's tall. He's jacked. He's like in crazy good shape. It's ridiculous, but yeah. So he ended up eliminating. So these are like a lot of people that I'm pretty aware of. And this was for an SPW show. Is that why?
Yeah. And then the winner was Bob for like the #1 contendership for later that night in the main event to go against Drake Frost. So I think part of the storyline is that Frost was entering the match, you know,
to make sure no one could be in.
And so that's why we all kind of dumped him over.
Gotcha. And what do they tell you, like what to wear and like?
Well, you could pick any gear, but Scoot always recommends that you get like cheap gear, because like if you get expensive gear and you're just starting out, like for me, that's the only time I wore it was in October. So if I had new gear, it would be going to waste, because like over time you're gonna be either gaining or losing weight. Yeah,
I think. See, like for me, if I did a battle royal, I'd try to swag out a little bit, because I don't know when I'm gonna ever stop or I get hurt. I want to look cool at least, but I don't think I would go full on like buying the $80 kick pads and all that stuff. But I'm sure with the cricket you could print out things and like iron on your name or whatever, because they don't announce names though, right?
No.
Do they normally do? Because I watched one for, was it Next Level?
I'm not sure. I don't watch too much of their content, honestly.
Second,
really
what is that called? No, it's not Level Up. I want to say it's Next Level. It's Next Level.
Yeah.
Next Level Wrestling. I watched them. Jekyll's was in that one. A couple other guys were in it. That one, they announced each person's name as they walked out. And they got to get like a cheer. Some people got pops. I'm like thinking to myself, that might be the goodest I get. And that's what I was thinking beforehand. Like with the anniversary show coming up, I'm like, they have to do a battle royal. There's got to be a battle royal. And I was like, man, I need to try to get into it. But like I said, right now, I don't.
Gotta pay your dues still, right?
Yeah, it's
comes with time.
Yeah,
You'll get it in your first year. I mean, he got to be a battle royale in his first year, so it'll come. But be patient.
He does a lot better than I do.
Well, I will say.
Well, you're like 2 weeks into it.
I was supposed to be in a battle royale like a few months before then, but I didn't go because I didn't have any wrestling gear whatsoever.
Oh.
And I almost didn't even do the battle royale in Auburn either, because I had ordered some wrestling boots. Well, it was boxing boots, and they didn't show up on time. And,
oh wow.
Yeah, and like I was already on my way, and I was like, maybe if I just look at like a sports store, that they might have some type of wrestling boots or some boxing boots, but I couldn't find anything. Like I even found this other sports venue where they just sold ski boots. I'm like, why do you just sell ski boots? But yeah.
What store was that?
It was, well, besides the ski boots, there was a bunch of kayaks. It was like extreme sports.
That's hella funny. So I'm guessing you didn't show up in the ski boots.
No, I thought about it, but
So what'd you end up doing?
like I had told the people in the back, because like they brought it up to me. They were like, "Oh, well, is this your first match?" And there's like, "Oh, it sure is." I was like, "Nah," and they were like, "What? No, what happened?" I'm all like, my boots didn't show up. I got everything else but the boots. And they were like, "Oh, well, you could have asked us. We could give you, like, you know, some of us always bring extra like gear with us." So Jack was nice enough to give me kick pads.
And who is it?
Jack is the blonde guy.
Oh, Jack, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's going to be having his first match in SBW next month.
Yeah. I do remember Jack having like a Battle Royale match in SPW in the anniversary show. Yeah,
kick pads might be a decent thing, even if it's cheap. Like I said, I wouldn't go like the ones I see on that. There's a luchador website, I forgot what they call it.
I personally like them because they have like a nice like leather look to them that just looks like boots, and like they just go over the shoe.
Well, that's like how I would do it, because like I talked to Scoot about, hey, what wrestling shoes should I get? Because everyone's wearing wrestling shoes. I go, but to be honest, I tried out, I had these Mambas, and they hurt my feet so bad. And really what I wear now is New Balances when we run and stuff, and they're so much lighter and better. My feet aren't throbbing. So I was asking Scoot, do I need to get wrestling shoes maybe more comfortable? And he's like, I don't want to wear wrestling shoes. He's like, they're too uncomfortable for me. So I was like, whatever, I'm gonna stick to what I want. But then I was like, if let's say a battle royal came up or something, I think I would just do kick pads over it or something, because it seems like it's a lot easier. And nowadays, like a lot of wrestlers, they wear either the boots, but a lot of people wear like tennis shoes or basketball shoes, and you can't tell. I mean, besides like the Usos who wear like,
oh yeah, the Air Force ones,
the all red Air Force ones. But yeah, so what was your attire when you did it?
I wore compression shorts. It was like black and red, and I was like, the boots that never made it were just white, and like and then my knee pads were just the regular knee pads. The compression shorts I wish were a bit longer, because they kept like riding up, so like there was exposed skin between that and the knee, so I hated that. But like when I wore the kick pads, like it just looked like jet black sleek on the boots area, and then like with black and red. And I wore like a t-shirt that was like cut off on the sleeves. So
that's what would you wear?
Oh, I also wear these clothes, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Nothing at all.
Just come out there naked?
No, I come out there and my whole thing is like, if I was put in that position, why stop? Like, I'm already going to be exposed to everybody. I'm like, I might as well just go the full athletic Speedo wearing you know, whatever feet protection I may need. But
our
full Bobby Lashley, man.
Yeah.
Just the pads on the elbows and the pads on the knees. Come on like that.
Like our dude that runs it all, Samurai, he's a bigger dude, and he rocks chonies like a motherfucker, like just wears undies. I don't got them kind of balls, no pun intended, but I don't got them balls to wear plus I got weird legs. And then I don't know about him, but I'm Mexican. I would think I'd have to really trim down my nether regions, because you don't want tarantulas coming out of your underwear. And you would want them.
A little bit of manscaping.
Yeah, you'd have to have manscaping.
Deforestation.
He was saying something about a certain way he's like, don't be embarrassed to wear a different type of underwear with your tights. I'm guessing he was referring to a thong.
Well, it's because some wrestlers, like when they're wearing like briefs or something, and their tights are like a little bit low, they don't want the boxers to be exposed.
Shit.
Just get a jock strap.
Dude, my butt crack comes out all the time. I had to do security on the last show, and Crystal's like, every time you crawled over to go stop someone, your ass crack was out. I have no butt, dude. So like, I'm worried. Like, let's say I was in the ring or something.
A really tight belt.
Well, as long as you wear compression shorts or just tights, like they'll stay on, like around your waist.
I don't know, man.
Because they're gonna be on your.
Holding back that wild beast, Ernie.
I don't know. It's like I have such a flat butt. It's just not cool.
Then wear a really tight belt.
Whatever. The next upcoming shows, I'm assuming you're gonna be put on the battle royal, are you gonna wear the same attire?
Yeah, more likely. Well, if it's the second time, and maybe in a few other shows,
He said that
the white boots.
He said there's gonna be a handful of battle royals in the spring, which I don't know. Well,
yeah, because last summer they're pretty heavy on the shows.
I know they do. Were you there when they did stuff at Empire Comics?
I don't think I was there for that.
Empire Comics always advertises them. They're in Sacramento, and they do it outside. So I want to say they've done a battle royal there as well. But usually it's Free Comic Day. Free Comic Day is the first Saturday of every May. So, I mean, when it comes to comics, I know all that crap. But I was curious if you knew if they did it, because you had to be there by October. Yeah, you had to be there by May. So you don't... Wait, you say started in October?
October was the debut. I started in March.
March. Yeah, so if they did do it, it would have been around that time. Whatever, anyways. And you told me, I feel like you're pretty close to getting put onto matches, but you threw a I don't know what I could say, threw me for, what do you say? What's that saying?
Threw me for a loop.
A loop?
A loop.
When you're like, yeah, I think maybe by the end of the year or next year. I'm like, dude, first of all, that knocks me in the dick, because I'm like, man, that's going to be forever. But, like, that's a long time right now to think that you'd be, let's say, November, whatever. That's a long time for you to wait to get there. But why do you think so long?
Well, like I said, I think it's because I don't have a complete moveset, because my moveset just consists of just strikes, a suplex, body slam, and like code breaker and stuff like that.
I mean, but isn't that okay? I mean, because
it's like less than 8 moves. I need like more variety, because if I just hit 8 moves, I'd be like John Cena.
I was just about to say, well, look at John Cena, look at Stone Cold. I mean, Stone Cold just punched and did mud holes, and I mean, who else has like a limited like repertoire? I mean, let's be real. A lot of people have pretty small.
Yeah, but it's easier when you're a bigger guy.
No, I'm just saying, like, let's say our boy Finn Balor.
Yeah.
He's got the sling blade. He's got the coup de grace. And then he's got in between there.
Those are like his moves, right?
But I'm saying, but in between there, he's got like, a couple other little things. But overall, and this is what I mentioned to Scoot when I was talking about the Royal Rumble or the Battle Royals. I was like, what do you need to know how to do? And this and that. I go, because I told him, I go, isn't it just a lot of punching and then throwing each other over? And he was like,
that's why it's like the first.
But that's why he told me, like, no, there's more to it. So I was like, oh, well, I feel like an ass, because I'm sitting here thinking you're just punching and stuff like that. Because, you watch I mean, how many Royal Rumbles that me and you have watched before?
Yeah, but I mean, they're still like, they set up stuff to where they clear people to the sides.
No, I get that. I'm just saying in general, you like to watch Royal Rumbles a lot.
It's my favorite thing.
But it's like, there's a lot of like punching and then just sitting off to the side. So I'm going off my knowledge of what I've seen, but that doesn't mean that they're going to do what I've seen.
Yeah, imagine it more like the I would like to imagine more like the Andre the Giant thing, where everybody's just in the ring, and then it's over in like 20 minutes rather than over in like an hour. You're not having 30 people come in where everybody's setting up stuff.
Well, that's different from a Royal Rumble and a Battle Royal.
I know, but people like that. People are like clearing everybody out relatively quickly until you get to like the last 3 guys, 4 guys, and that's when all the actual setup stuff is going on.
When I was watching, I believe it was
because I imagine you guys just call it out, like for the most part, like when you lock eyes with somebody and be like, "Come do this with me," and then like the guy said, pull the thing down so I can go flying over, and it's like set up just on the spot. But then the guys that know they're going to be later on are going to have those bigger.
Do you moments. I should have asked that earlier. Do you guys have to be out by a certain time? Because like, what if Chima didn't do that? Does he stay in longer? And is there a point where they're like, no, we got to get down to the final 4, or we need to get down to the final 6? You guys can't hang around forever,
I mean, there's certain spots that like some battle royales like to do. Like, I'm sure that we're eventually gonna get to the practice stuff in like the next month. Because for SBW, we kind of do like this like headlock caterpillar thing. You'll know when we'll cross that bridge once we get there.
So basically, everyone's headlocking each other.
Yeah, and then the first guy stunners everybody. So like it would stunner, and it would kind of domino effect. That's just one of like other spots, but like there's a timing thing. Like if the battle royale is like 15 minutes, then like besides the spots that they have to say, everything else is just like final four and then the winner. Besides that, everybody else just has to figure out when they want to leave, basically. So if they get blown up, then there's like, oh, just eliminate me. All right, cool.
Yeah. There's Ernie. I'm too tired. Throw me out. I need to go get a hot dog.
Yeah, I mean, there's some times where Samurai like is in the battle royale. He's so like, I'm just gonna like do this thing. All right, and then eliminate me. Cool.
What about how's refereeing been for you?
It's okay.
Do they teach you all that along the way? Because there's a lot of hand gestures I was watching.
They're for the most part, I kind of already had a grasp on like refereeing, like
just by watching wrestling.
Yeah, like I first started refereeing like either May or June. I'm pretty sure it was June, and like Lodi Con. It might have been May, but like when I did it, like they just threw me out there and like kind of in the deep end, just see what I do. Back and forth with like somebody else, and like even in the main event, I had to do like a multi-person tag. And they were surprised that I handled it well. So that's kind of why they put me as like a mainstay. And of course, like, you know, their critiques is like, you know, I need to project my voice more, and then like some other stuff that there's some stuff that I didn't know that comes to being a ref, but you know.
So is there so the thing is, like, again, I was thinking that if you're a ref or a manager, you get out there sooner. And then you could still train and be a wrestler. And that's what I asked Scoot about, doing a manager thing or something like that. Because I feel like I'm born to talk more than anything. That's why I think people would come see me or whatever. But it sounds like you get the same exact training regardless being a manager or a referee. But I feel like you would have to be taught how to be a referee somehow. So do they have days where they're going to teach us referee stuff, or you just got to kind of, like you said, throw it in the deep end type thing?
Well, I mean, that was because like there isn't any like referees there besides just trainees. So like, because the real referees were like doing other things, I guess. So they just made the students do it. Other times when there's other SPW shows, there are like, you know, referees that are professional, like Karina Kyle and stuff like that. When that happens in the show day, they usually wait till I come back, or even before I even go out there, they would tell me like, okay, well, this is what you need to do.
That is the crazy thing, is you guys don't know what you're doing until the show day. Like, that blows my mind. Like, nervousness wise, is that a word, Declan?
Nervousness wise?
Nervousness.
No.
I make my own words up all the time.
Oh.
I don't have
to think about it nervously.
I know what you mean, though.
But like, they just like, I talked to a wrestler, Blaze. I'm like, are you wrestling today? He's like, I have no idea. And I'm helping him build the ring, and he's like, I don't know. And then he's like, I hear I'm supposed to. And then I asked you when you got there, I'm like, are you roughing? You're like, I don't know yet. You're like, think so? You're like, I think so. I just don't know what matches or how many matches or whatever.
It felt like it took longer last show day because, I don't know, there was something going on. I was just waiting for Karina to come back. And, yeah, we were just, like, assigning each other's matches.
Is there a reason why they just don't keep the same refs in there? Like the same couple?
It's interchangeable. I don't know. It just depends if you want to ref that day. Because there's sometimes, like, if I feel too sick, I would say, hey, it's okay if I be security instead. I don't want to be a distraction and just cough all over the ring. Like, I don't want to be the attention at that point.
I feel like it's a lot of pressure being a ref, too, because the crowd yells at you so much.
Yeah.
Like,
you just tune it out, pretty much. You just do your job and tune it out.
Like, are you a blind ref? I don't know how many times I was hearing shit during the last show, and I'm just like, I was thinking more about you, like, man, like, I wonder if this sucks for Abraham, because like you're playing a part. You're not really trying to, you know, officiate correctly, like you are, but you are going to ignore while you're getting distracted by the heel, and he's distracting you and talking to you.
I mean, that's for the purpose of the match,
right? And then refs are, I mean, the people in the crowd are like, "Hey, ref, look over there, look over there," and it's like, dude, like, I get it, you're playing along with it, but he's not doing like a bad job right now. But I don't know.
Yeah, I see it as like the referee, like, because I'm not an official character. Like, as a referee, I have like, I'm basically a NPC at that point.
That's funny.
Selected dialogue options.
Yeah, I did the same taunts as like, oh, come on, man, whatever. And like, for me, I feel like I'm more of an instrument for them to use during the match, for them to go into their storyline.
With the whole
like, if it's a tag team match and the person gets pissed off because they got hit, I have to stop them, and that's for the purpose so they could jump the other guy, and I'm not looking.
Right.
They're cheating, and this guy's getting pissed off. So
that's why I couldn't imagine getting thrown into it, because it seems like there's so much going on that you'd have to pay attention to. And then, like I said, looks like there's a lot of hand gestures you're supposed to do as well.
They want me to be big and like make it obvious,
because like
for the crowd.
2 count, right? You would throw the 2 up. You would point, like I see usually they show, at least to my knowledge, I've seen them show both opponents 2, and then they kind of point to the corner, like the bell keeper or whoever 2. I've seen that done a couple of times, and I'm just like, man, like, it's not just the...
My favorite when they have them in like the submission, and they're like leaning them against the mat, and the ref has to like that to like
check
be,
if
like,
their
the shoulders are down.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I think being a ref would be fun. I like that idea of just being
come
an
join,
NPC.
so I'm not by myself. Come join with me. You're not doing anything right now.
Yeah, but I don't want to, drive out to Yuba City?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Come on.
No.
You could pay
I don't know how,
Abraham. Abraham will come pick you up.
How close do you live to Midtown?
I don't really know where that is from here.
The capital.
That's 15 minutes.
Okay, so he lives down there. Where you live?
He goes 45 minutes to pick up a guy.
Oh, okay.
He goes 45 minutes to go pick up a guy. Like, that's pretty committed.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't know, man. You could be there. You could jog with me in the back so I don't feel so sad.
I'm going to be like your dad. You're going to leave us, the first time you get to get in the ring, you're going to leave a spot open for me. It's got my name on it.
Yep.
And you're going to look to there, and I'm just not going to be there.
Yep.
And at the end, when the janitor's cleaning up, I'll rush in and be like, Ernie! And everybody will be gone.
Yep. It's one of those Boy Meets World endings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's really sad music plays. It's like a Disney movie.
Thank God you didn't feel good the other day, as I was able to jog with you in the back.
Oh, that's okay.
Normally, I'm in the back by myself. I'm just the fat guy. It's horrible feeling like you're back in high school again. I'll tell you that, dude. I totally feel like I'm messing up. I'm not the cool guy. Normally, a lot of
I don't
things.
think you ever were.
A lot of things I jump into, I'm mediocre at least. This, I feel bad. Like, a lot of things, I'll jump into it, and I'm like, I'm okay.
You became... I'll worry about that later.
All right.
How much does he know about your past?
Huh?
Does he know about the program you went through and stuff like that?
No, you could go through that.
That's what I mean. It's like, you were the cool guy of that program, but it's like a program for people that are depressed or have anxiety.
Yeah.
Can you really be the cool guy there?
No, I went through an intensive outpatient program, so I would go all week long, and they work on your
Stick magnets around your head. Dunk you
CBT,
into a hole.
cognitive behavior therapy.
Cock and ball torture.
Cognitive behavior therapy, and they teach you how to change your thoughts and stuff. It's whatever. But I was the cool guy there. But
You were bullying all those mentally ill people.
Huh?
You were bullying all those trying to get their lunch money off of them.
yeah, I pushed their head out, like when they walked by me, like, get the fuck
Give me your
out
gas
the
money,
way.
nerd.
And that was a drive too. That was
Shove them in a therapist office.
Where was that at? Why can't I figure that?
I don't know, man.
It wasn't
brainwashed
Yuba.
you well enough to know.
It wasn't Yuba, dude.
They've hidden the location.
That Yuba drive is ridiculous, man. It's so hard.
Is it at least scenic?
I hate driving through it in the summer. Like there's just nothing but bugs, and there's like crap everywhere.
It's a lot of, I guess, scenic.
I stay as far as I can away from Yuba City.
Dude, all I've heard is bad things about Yuba as far as like living there and stuff. Like I remember HeroClix player Keith, he would come down to play
from Yuba
to play because there was like shitty shops there for cards and comics and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I know that their Magic scene is like non-existent. Most people that come to play big tournaments come from Yuba.
Yeah, so there's not a lot going on out there. But like on your way there, it's just like a ton of like grass and stuff. But I actually don't mind it compared to seeing all the recreational sometimes, you know, like
the what?
Like not recreational. What would you call that? Industrial? I mean,
the construction.
It's not construction.
Architecture.
I guess something
modernist
like that.
architecture.
I guess.
You don't like all the. Yeah, you don't. I guess industrialist would be
the city life.
Yeah.
Like it. I don't mind. I like seeing city life.
Are you a farm boy?
Hell no. You know I'm far from a farm boy.
You a city boy? You one of them city slickers?
So I was shocked that.
I don't know how they do it up in the big city, but
I don't know about how they do it up there.
Down in the south, we do it a little bit different.
I was shocked. Abraham told me his favorite wrestler was Goldberg, and I almost didn't want to talk to him anymore.
What?
Why is Goldberg your favorite wrestler? Out of curiosity.
2003, I started watching wrestling, and he was the champion during the time. And
2003.
He would be,
so he was in WWE.
Yeah, he
How
was
old
feuding.
were you?
I was 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm old.
So.
Yeah, but you loved Hulk Hogan when you were younger, right?
Everyone did, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But once you learn he's an asshole.
Point proven.
Goldberg, I wouldn't say is an asshole, though, but Hulk Hogan's a
that's what
fucking
I
dirty
mean.
piece of shit.
But he's also not like, he wasn't that great of a wrestler, and like, he was kind of gross.
Who?
Hulk Hogan.
Oh, yeah. Anyone in the industry that's a real wrestler doesn't care for him.
Yeah.
Even like the Daniel Bryans and stuff, they're just, that's not someone on your list. Like, Ultimate Warrior, oh my god, I bought the DVD, the Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior. It was a DVD they released before they were on good terms, and they just shit on him through the whole thing. And I've been wanting to watch it, so I picked it up on like Macari for like $8 or some
He was
shit.
like a drug fiend and all that kind of stuff, right?
He was fucked up on steroids and shit like that. I mean, that's why he died.
Testosterone fiend.
But he, dude, he, he held up a show, said, I'm not going to go out there, like, during the show unless you pay me more money. Like, that's just blasphemy. That's,
Well, how much were they paying him?
Who knows? I don't know.
For how much but that's my whole thing with wrestling.
That's why I don't like Shawn Michaels that much. I don't know how much you care for him, but Shawn Michaels was politics in the background. He controlled a lot because he was so famous or so received. He would pull the, Vader was supposed to lose or win the belt from him. He stopped him. You imagine how fucking cool Vader was going to be winning it? Mr. Perfect was supposed to win the Royal Rumble, but Shawn didn't want him to win it. And Mr. Perfect he's never been a champion. Or heavyweight. He's been, he is, in my opinion, the best Intercontinental champion. I love Mr. Perfect. Again, this is way below your time because I'm fucking old as shit. But when I watched Goldberg was the streak and stuff, which I'm assuming you know about and all that. I would watch weekly. And I remember 7th grade, we had a free day to wear whatever. Normally, we had to wear uniforms. I wore a Goldberg shirt.
Where did you go to school? Where did you wear uniforms?
I had to wear uniforms to an elementary school.
Yeah, did you grow up more privileged than I did? What the fuck?
No,
you got some fucking
it was a ghetto. It was ghetto. It was Don.
And you had to wear like
Don
uniform.
Julio. Yeah, it was ghetto.
Don't sound so ghetto to me.
I'm telling you.
You say Don Julio or Don Julio?
We all said Don Julio, but it could be Don Julio.
It's definitely Don Julio.
But anyways, I wore a Goldberg shirt and I got made fun of so fucking hard that day. It was just, I'm in 7th grade, dog. Like, I wanted to rep. And I wore a Goldberg shirt and I was pumped. I laid it out, put it on, and just got shit on, dude. Are you going to take any moves from him? You're not going to be jackhammering anyone, I suppose. Even though you picked me up, you got me yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I was making people collapse. I felt horrible.
No, it's all good.
You
should
didn't-
see yourself as the gatekeeper, if anything. You're like, because it made me feel better, like that I was able to do that.
Dude,
I'm
You're the
sorry
gatekeeper. That's how fat you are. You fat piece of shit. I know that's not what you meant, but that's what I mean.
Chima wasn't heavy to me either. I was shocked, dude. I didn't know my strength. I was shocked that Bob was light
you throw
as
me around fine.
Bob when we have sex.
Yeah.
We're joking.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry.
I'm not.
You look
But
back at me like, no, it's not like that.
not that there's anything wrong.
Stop
with it.
hiding me, Ernie.
But yeah, I was shocked. Bob is a bigger dude, and he was like Scoot said, he was pretty light. I actually wanted to try.
Incredibly light.
I wanted to try Scoot, but I'm afraid that I would have bit off too much because Scoot's a big dude.
Like, okay, how big? How heavy are you? You're what, 260?
270.
270? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so I don't lift or anything, but I could probably lift 270. I
It's,
think
it's a little different throwing someone over your back.
Well, it's because the
though,
weight's
shoulder.
not balanced, right? But you're also then lifting with your whole body rather than just your arms.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was interesting drill because
I imagine you'd have a harder time if you had to pick somebody up and then run with them.
I thought when he said we were going to do it, I thought we were going to have to walk around the ring with them. And I was like, fuck. Dude, I was burnt already on running the ropes because I'm just learning how to run the ropes. There's a certain way you did it. I didn't know that. So there's a certain way you have to do it with how your feet move. And the guy doing it with me, he kind of, I don't know if it was my fault or his fault, but I felt like it was his fault because he kept kind of like bumping into me. I was trying my best to read him because you're supposed to kind of switch it up slow so you guys don't bump. And then the third time doing it, I caught him about to mess up kind of. And again, I felt like I could be my fault, but at least at the end, Scoot was like, my trainer was like, good, you did a good job maneuvering. And I was like, okay, cool. So I was gassed. I get gassed so easy. And then they're like, we're going to pick up everybody. You're going to sit there, grab everyone from the lightest to the heaviest. And I was thinking about strength. So I put myself kind of in the middle. Mm-hmm. So all the little guys started to lose by me. So Scoot's like, dude, you got to get in the back, further back because they need to get through the other people. And I was like, all right, cool. Cause I didn't know the right thing to do. I was trying to be like, okay, where would I be strength-wise?
You're just sandbagging them?
We had to practice sandbagging too. And I did it with the guy Chima, and he's a big dude. And me and him both are like, what are we getting from this? Like, we're both like laying our dead bodies over each other, and we're like, and he was very vocal, walking around to each person like, you guys ain't sandbagging, you're not sandbagging, because they're getting, some of them were picking each other up. But I think just the bigger you are, it's just the harder it is.
I get it.
It was rough. When you guys sandbagged, did you get your guy up?
It was harder for me because he was actually sandbagging me. When he was like picking me up, I didn't properly sandbag. So,
we were
I was supposed to stand more back.
We were just draping our bodies over each other and just putting our weight down, and we were just like, dude. And what's the bad thing about it is I feel like it could be not safe for your back because having someone just all on you and you're trying to use your legs, but I feel like the pressure on your back just.
I imagine it's not good for either person's back. Because if you're like sandbagging, you're basically going limp, right?
But you're hanging over.
Yeah,
you're
not supporting your own.
You're hanging over on the guy, and the guy you're doing.
Like that.
You're doing a John Cena. You're doing a fireman's carry.
Okay.
Basically, that's what we were doing when people were going in the ring and stuff. We're doing the fireman's carry. But yeah, it's just I didn't get why we did it, but whatever. I think just to learn what it's about.
What it feels like to get sandbagged.
For the most part, I've always seen sandbags on wrestling as receipts to people or someone not selling or they're mad at them, and then
I hate that shit. That's just so dumb.
And they'll do that so they're mad at Scott Steiner.
Yeah, why don't I just put your life at risk?
Yeah, Scott Steiner, I believe, has done it where he sandbagged people. Regal.
Are you talking about Big Papa Pump, bro?
Yeah,
How dare you?
Big Booty Daddy.
How dare you disrespect Big Booty Daddy?
Regal did it really bad to Goldberg. It's a famous match you can watch where they Regal said they told him to go at him, and Regal's super technical. Regal's like one of the best wrestlers out there. He trained everybody. Like fucking Daniel Bryan went to Shawn Michaels school and then went back to Regal and got trained by him. But yeah, so if you watch that match, it's very interesting to see Goldberg pretty frustrated because he was used to about 2-minute matches, and then with Regal they go about 5-6, and Regal sandbagging him and not making it easy for him. And if you watch him do the jackhammer, it does not look good at all compared to how he used to do it in every match where he just destroys people. Shit, I'd be scared to get jackhammered. Are you okay with being lifted up like that? Do you get nerve wracked at all? Because the thing is, you have to trust the person. Yeah. But it's like me right now, I barely know anyone, so I'm scared. Like I'm scared to do suplexes right now because can someone get me over them? Like
if you jump properly, then like it's on their part to do the rest. So you know how Bob, like, it was easy to carry upwards, and he's, like, heavier than I am, right?
Right.
He's probably, when you picked him up, he was probably lighter than I was. He's, like, 220, 240. I'm, like, 160, 180 or so.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that. That's what Scoot means about, like, Drake Frost jumping over. You
guys could throw me like a javelin pull. I never think about that. Because I'm, like, 130, 140.
There's littler guys in there. It's interesting. Like I said, it's weird because you almost feel like it'd be divided by weight class, but it's not.
Wow, it's not real fighting. Sorry.
Stop.
Sorry.
Stop. But anyways, I was saying, are you gonna take anything from Goldberg?
I might do a spear every now and then. I think I can do a jackhammer on certain people. Obviously, not everybody. But yeah, I wouldn't mind doing those two moves, but I don't think they're going to be a part of my repertoire of every match.
Yeah, and you are ready to go, right? Like far as you know what you want to be called.
Yeah.
You know what you... Do you care to say that, or you want to hold on to it?
I could say here. So my wrestler's name is going to be Daniel Caliber. And
why is that name?
I came up with that name because, like, I have kind of like an alter ego named Scar Knight that, like, I try to make a name for Scar Knight, like what would his real name be, and that's what I came up with.
So where'd the alter ego come from?
From like the videos that I do, like the gaming stuff that I was talking about. That's like my gamer tag.
Gamer tag, okay. I was afraid, like, you're like, yeah, no, I live a fucking life where I go fight crime as Scar Knight or some shit.
He's just secretly Batman.
Yeah, like, that's why you train so hard. So, you were trying to think of his name for it, and what was it again you said?
Daniel Caliber.
So, what kind of persona are you going towards with him?
So the gimmick, like, in a summary, is basically a wrestler historian that's obsessed with gold. Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I like to think that, like, I don't know how to explain it to the best of my ability, because I kind of think in, like, color in a certain way. So, like, for example, a John Cena or AJ Styles would be blue. And
what do you mean by that?
Like, some people kind of see it like an aura thing. Like, when you see a person, you kind of associate them with the color.
Okay.
So with Scar Knight and Daniel Caliber, I kind of think of like red, black, and gold. So that would be my colors. And
now, do you see certain wrestlers as those colors separately?
Sometimes it could be one color or multiple.
Mm-hmm.
And for Daniel Caliber, like
I like Caliber. That's dope. I think Caliber is a really good name.
Yeah. When Scoot asked me, like, what more about the character, like, I had this idea that, like, obviously everybody wouldn't mind collecting as many belts as they can. There's things like belt collectors. But in my case, the belt collector stuff that I would like to do is, if the best case scenario, if I was WWE champion right now, I would have a belt for, like, every era. So if I'm feuding against Edge, I would have his Rated R belt and use it against him. And, like, have, like, these different era belts. Like, maybe the next month I would have the Ultimate Warrior belt. And then, like, It would be the same thing for the Intercontinental Champion, or even in SPW if I was Extreme Champion.
Are you following under heel or face?
Like I could do either or. I think the more interesting stuff will happen once I'm a heel. I would like to start as a face though, just to like, I don't know. I think it's kind of a better switch up at some point. Down the line in the wrestling career, that's when stuff starts to pick up. Like, you know, one's face turns to heel, and then like that's kind of where character development begins.
Telling Guapo he needs a heel turn. If you're a little cutie and think you're he's called like the cutie of SPW or some shit like that.
The resident cutie.
Resident cutie. If you think you're the good-looking guy, you gotta turn to the narcissist Lex Luger, and Bobby Roode, and what was glorious Bobby Roode.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Rick Rude. That's why I first meant to say it was Rick Rude, who thinks he's God's gift to women. So do you know what music?
Not exactly.
Not yet.
I kind of there's like one or two songs, but I think there's still better options to pick from. Like I think I got everything else but the music, honestly.
Is it all gonna deal with like gold?
Yeah, he's pretty obsessed with gold. So like, if
you're not gonna come out dressed like a miner, though, right?
A miner? Oh no, not like
a child.
I didn't mention a child. I was going.
I didn't realize that. That's funny.
No, not like a minor 49er. Just
like I gotta get myself some gold.
Gold in them knives.
There's some gold up there.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna peel off.
All right. Thank you for joining, Declan. No, me and Abraham will finish up.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you, man. Yep.
We're only gonna do like probably another 15 minutes or so.
Okay.
But no, she's doing homework. But so what's gonna be the finisher?
It's a little Jimmy, like a pay dirt. I keep forgetting. It's like a flatliner, I think it's called. The jumping flatliner. The reason for that is because my moveset, I would like to mirror and tribute like other famous moves.
Mm-hmm.
Like the jumping flatliner would be like a mirror to the RKO, and like there's like a setup move before that. Like instead of the people's elbow, it'd be like some variation, but with the knee instead.
Oh,
it'd be like an opposite mirror thing.
Do you know if you're gonna name them around caliber or gold or?
I think the jumping flatliner, I'm thinking of calling it Scarface.
That's cool.
Yeah, because Scoot approached the idea of maybe like making my nickname either the Scarred Knight, and then I was also thinking I could just say Scarred Knight Daniel Caliber. So I'm not really sure. I'm still like brainstorming.
When do you guys get these sessions where you guys start talking about this? Where does it come up?
I brought it up to Scoot because he said like once you guys like want to talk about characters, and then I approached him after the class pretty much. I was like, I have a character if you like to hear it. And he's like, okay, well, once we're free, because he had to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, I had him hear me out.
How far in were you in when you brought this up? Because I don't know if he would turn you away if you were pretty fresh, or if you're... Because it seems like if you're able to talk character, that you would be... Like I said, it feels like you're close to being out there if you're already talking character and all that.
I think this was August or September, so this was a little bit before October. And I don't think Daniel Caliber officially debuted in that Battle Royale, because I asked Scoot, like, is this the debut of Daniel Caliber? He was like, well, the announcer's not really going to say your name. Nobody, once I run out there, nobody knows.
Right.
There's some people that did recognize me as the ref, and they were proud of me that I joined.
Yeah, that's cool.
Started wrestling, It's one of those super fans, like with the megaphone.
Yeah.
It was them too.
So you just said, hey, I want to talk about this, and then you guys end up talking about it, or?
Yeah. And then
when did you guys talk? Before class, after class?
I think this was after class again. And he was interested and he wanted me to write it down on a piece of paper, like a bunch of like anything I could think of, pretty much. So like I came up with like how I came up with the name and like just like story and like a bunch of categories. It's basically I wrote him a essay with like bad handwriting, and it was like on the left because I was gonna draw stuff on the right, and I didn't have time to draw stuff on the right. So
What would you like drawing on it?
I was gonna draw like my gear, how it would look, but still haven't came up with the design I would like on the tights.
See, I wish, let's say if I ultimately ever got to be a wrestler, I wish they'd be okay with me rocking a Kevin Owens look, because I would like to wear shorts. I don't like tights really. Even though I do have some, just because I'm a big person that if I find deals on stuff, and these were super cheap and they looked all right, and I never knew if, kind of like how Blaze, when he practices, he wears stuff underneath his shorts, and I was like, that's kind of decent, to practice in, so I bought some like that. But my ideal would be, just because, again, cover my legs, because they're so small, and the knee pads and then the shin pads or the kick pads would cover everything else up, and then I'd want to wear a cutoff of my character's shirt. And I don't, like, I made a post on Facebook, like, I really want to make a shirt just to have it. I don't know where it's ever going to go. I don't know if I'm ever going to be anything, but I feel like that character all the time, and I just want to represent it. And I'm not trying to make money off it and stuff, but if you ever get popular, that could be a thing. Do you have any ideas for like how you want like logos to look, or catchphrases, or
well, I kind of already have a logo per se, but it's mostly for Scar Knight. It's just like a literal scratch. Like I wore the sweater before at training. It's like 3 yellows. Like you just picture Wolverine scratching.
I wonder if it's, not to be a dick, if it's the generic one you could find, and like I used it for my I don't know if I have it, but I used it for my business cards, and Brian Cage uses it as well. Swolverine uses it, but they're kind of like this. But of course they have.
It looks somewhat like that, because the idea is like Scar Knight, and then like underneath that is like an X, pretty much.
That's cool. I like that. So do you have that like saved on your computer or something? Or?
Yeah, I use it for like all the Scar Knight stuff.
For your online things. What online things do you do with Scar Knight?
I play Nintendo games.
Just the Nintendo games?
Yeah, Let's Plays and Nuzlocke.
But what? Like, so what do you need the name for then? Is it for Twitch or something, or?
It's just the alter ego. I feel like, because I've been Scar Knight for 10 years, and I feel like it defined me a lot.
Did you use it for other gamer tags, like for PS, anything like that?
Yeah, it's a gamer tags for all kinds of stuff, YouTube, Twitch, and like Fortnite, stuff like that.
Gotcha. So you're gonna do basically the little Jimmy. We got that. We got the music. Which ones you said you're working?
The music, I'm not quite sure. I think because I'm more into like electronic music, like dubstep and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a song that I feel like really represents me yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like the closest song I could come up with is like the Mortal Kombat techno song.
Mm-hmm.
But those I'm still like brainstorming ideas for that.
I'm always intrigued by all this part of wrestling, because I feel like right now, since we're so early in the training and all that, for me, but I feel like, they say you need to know blah blah blah, but for me, I feel like the wrestling is one half of what makes wrestling, and then the other half I feel like is the persona, because the way you hit, the way you punch, the way whatever, it's all based off that character, because everyone's not going to punch the same, kick the same. They shouldn't, and it should be that character is how it punches, kicks, and then even promos, which seems like they don't do a lot of promos really, but Promos, hopefully, you guys get to do more of. But I know I've talked to Scoot about it, that it's just a time limit thing. You know, they only have so much time for the shows. That's why I wonder why they have the break in the middle. But I guess that's just to have fans meet the wrestlers. Is
Well,
it?
besides that, like, there's usually intermissions in all types of shows. Like, they need to, like, have the fans go do their pee break or get food or whatever.
Right. So I get that with the promo, but that's like, for me, the biggest thing I enjoy in wrestling is when someone could captivate a whole audience. Like, again, people hate CM Punk, but I'm obsessed with CM Punk. I think he's kind of a little off right now, though. Definitely identify a lot with what he went through prior to all what's going on with him now. But then Paul Heyman, I think, is just a dude that can rock a microphone.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt, dude. Jake the Snake, Roddy Piper. These guys made people want to see them based off them talking. That's why I was like, well, maybe I should try to do manager first and then keep training, and so I can at least talk a little bit more. But, you know, snatch the mic and announce, like, you know, let's say I was like yours and snatch the mic and announce it instead of them or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. What, like, advice do you have for me that I keep going, like, oh man, I don't know if I can handle this, or I don't know if I could, you know, like, again, a lot of it's my anxiety, a lot of it's I think, you know, a little bit afraid of getting hurt. My age, again, I always bring that up. Like, what do you think, someone in my shoes, do you just keep pushing and just keep going, or do you reevaluate, or what would you do if you're in my place?
No, I would keep pushing, like, because, like, everybody, I feel like, I just imagine, like, this 16-year-old going to training and, like, he's watching everybody. He's like, oh, that guy's so good at training and all that. Well, he's been there for a while. So that's why I feel like that for any student, for any age, like, it could be my grandma that could be 72 in training. Everybody's going to be proud of her, right? That
Right.
She's going to do what she can. She's not going to be in any rush to be like, I have to be better than Joe Schmo that's 21 years old. Like, I always feel like just going in your own pace, like, because you really have to worry about yourself to get it right with whatever moves that you want to execute.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody learns at a different pace. You know, like, for next level, I think that they train 5 days a week, and we train 2 days a week.
Right.
You know, and even with the I guarantee there's probably someone training that is doing 5 days a week that, you know, after 1 year they're still not ready. But then, who knows, maybe in training that is doing 2 days a week, you know, they might be ready by month 4.
Right.
Everybody is different on, like, their learning skills on how they learn. So it's really that, because that's when I'm in training, I kind of see that it's better to see everybody kind of uplifted, that it's good for them that they're doing this and doing that. You know, like Les, he does everything perfectly.
Who's
Yeah.
Les?
The Asian dude with the mustache.
Oh,
Like, he nails
I
everything.
don't see him. I haven't seen him there that much.
Yeah, I haven't seen him lately, but, like, if regardless, like, when
And
he's there,
he's
he hits it pretty
He's
well.
he's an older gentleman too, right? Not like old, but
He's married, I know that much.
he's probably at least in his. He's probably at least like in his 30s, I would think, right?
Yeah. But, like, it's good that he hits it, like...
Was he the
does
one
everything
everyone
well.
was talking about the other day? Like, they said he came in and he did a lot of stuff perfect, and
Yeah.
they said he was like an army dude or something like that.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
I'm just. They were talking about someone that came in and did everything like great when they first came in.
He,
And stuff.
he does everything excellent. But I kind of see it as more like, well, that's good because, like, that's going to help our promotion. Like, another great wrestler is going to be in the horizon. And then for someone like Lucas, who kind of struggles a bit with training, you know, eventually you still have to work on it. You know, this, like, finding tuning the small stuff just so he could get it right, because you don't want to rush him. Like if he's still reaching, he's gonna break his arm if you send him out there.
Yeah.
So it's good to work on that. And then
did you say he ref before?
Lucas, no.
Okay.
Well, he refs in training.
Oh,
I had to
gotcha.
teach him from there.
But so yeah, that's what I'm like. A lot of people just tell me just go. You're at least getting a workout. And my big thing is I want to be cool and meet new people and be chill with people and stuff like that. But I still feel like I'm easing in there. I make convos with you a lot just because kind of you're off to the side a lot. So I know I'm able to. I'm
know naturally quiet. That's why I'm just.
So I know that I could. I mean, I think you're the first person actually that came up and shook my hand when I walked in.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'll talk to this dude, and then I would get hooked up with Blaze a lot to train. So me and him have been kind of cool. Like I'll message him. I do feel like I bug him though, because I like I told you through texting, I talk a lot. But you know, if I miss a day or something, I ask him what was done today, and you know, this and that. But like I said, it's kind of hard because everybody's so kind of clicked up. I noticed that there's certain groups like
I mean, somewhat. To be fair, like even if I'm there for almost a year, I hadn't talked to everybody like that. They don't know me too well either. Because you know, I don't think it's too selfish that like you know how I'm saying like, you know, just take care of yourself or whatever. I kind of do that too, but not to a selfish degree. I just do it just because I want to get everything right.
Right.
I try to, because I don't want to get too distracted, like, you know, talking to Nova and talking to
yeah, and I think that makes sense to not
because I'm like really trying to focus and hone in and everything.
Right. I think that makes sense in class. Like I do see a lot of the guys talking to each other and stuff, and it is cool to see people being friends. But there are times, because there was probably, I think the day I sat out, there was a lot of talking, and I was trying to listen. So it was a little bit distracting. Nothing against the guys, nothing against Scoot, but I was trying to listen a lot that day because I was sitting out, and I already felt bad that I was sitting out. But I've been having this head pain, and I still do. But my migraine, I went on Monday practice, and in the middle of the ring, we were practicing wrist locks, and I had to tell Scoot, like, dude, I need to go to the bathroom. So I thought I was going to throw up. I felt off balance and stuff. And I'm very appreciative that he's really cool about that. Like, I'm worried I'm going to get like a drill sergeant dude that's like, nope, you can't do it. You know, are you
It kind of happened on Monday. I was like, I think I'm going to throw up. He's like, I don't care if you throw up. I'm like, cool. And then I just went in there.
Yeah. So
luckily I didn't throw up when I did that. I was really close, but I had no choice but to, you know, give in. So,
but yeah, so it is kind of nice that you're not so strict on somebody, and you can actually live a little bit and not be told, oh, you can't do this, because that's not, in my opinion, it's not good to train someone like that where you feel like you're just so chained up or whatever. So like I said, I was like, dude, I need to go use the bathroom, and I went to the bathroom, kind of threw water on my face. I thought I was gonna throw up because I threw up that day, and then I was just, like I said, it's a migraine type thing or something. Then Wednesday I messaged him like, hey, do you care if I just, because I remember one time you just watched, so I was thinking maybe he'll let me watch. So I was like, hey, do you care if I come in and just watch? I go, my migraine still hasn't gone away. I wish people understood, like, trying to wrestle and the day we're practicing freaking punches and elbowing was the day I went with a migraine. Like, people understood, like, dude, it was hell and it hurt bad. Every time I was in the middle of the ring, I felt so nauseated and dizzy. But yeah, so I was glad I sat out that day, but it's just hard because you're trying to listen and pay attention. And you know, like I said, everybody kind of has their own little groups. I try to talk to everybody, and everybody kind of tells me their groups and stuff, and that's why it was kind of lonely. I don't know if it's a new thing or other people have gone through it, but setting up the ring and stuff, It was fine. I got to talk to guys that I know and I've talked to before. But then once everyone kind of breaks off to do their own thing, like I was just like sitting in my car. I went and sat on the chairs because after everything's done, you're just kind of waiting, and it kind of sucked. I watched everybody. Everybody knows each other. Everybody's talking, and I'm not there yet. This is the first show, so it was very lonely feeling, and I was just like, man, like, how am I going to get through today? Like, whatever, And I would go up to Lucas and try to talk to him, talk to the newer guy, Bryson. It just was a little rough for me. And plus, I didn't know really what they wanted us to do. Because no one gave me a clear indication. I just would walk up to places and then they would tell, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do that? And I remember telling that to Jake, and Jake's like, welcome to wrestling business. He's like, that's just kind of how it is. He's like, you kind of got to seek out people and stuff like that. And I tried my best to shake everybody's hand that I saw. Some people, I don't know if they were confused who I was and stuff, but some people weren't too, I don't know, willing to shake my hand. They did, but I could tell they were just like, gave me a look like, okay, who are you? And then there were some people that I really couldn't approach because they kind of got around me, but then they just stood around me but didn't.
I mean, that happens like not last show, but like the month before, or it might have been 2 months before. Like I saw this girl in the chair that was in Soccer World, and like I think it was Ezra's girlfriend, and like I went up to her and I shook her hand, and she looked at me like if I was about to ask her out. I'm like, I just nodded my head and I walked away.
It's what? Who was it?
Ezra's girlfriend.
Who's Ezra?
Mexican dude with
short,
like, long hair.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. I think I seen him come in with his girlfriend on the last show.
Yeah, I mean she's used to it by now. I don't think at the time. I think it was like her first visit. She didn't know about the handshaking rule. It's not really a rule, but like,
it's kind of
it's like a complimentary. I don't know how to call it.
I don't know what they call it. An unsung rule, or so. It's like one of those things that you just are supposed to do it, and but yeah, I can see.
But like her face, I literally, she looked at me. It's like, "Were you gonna ask me out or something?"
Yeah,
I just walked away.
Yeah, it is kind of odd. Being in the back for the first time, I was a little overwhelmed. Like, am I supposed to greet everybody? But everyone seems so busy in the back. I wasn't trying to go up. But the only person I went up to is Big Ugly because I didn't get to do the seminar thing because I didn't bring no knee pads or anything. And I told him, like, I was trying to listen to him, but some dude next to me kept talking the whole time.
Well, yeah, that happened.
And I was trying to listen, and he basically had you guys do normal stuff. I thought he was going to have you guys do different stuff. But
he thought I was very, very new.
I know.
Kind of made no difference either way.
I noticed that he kept thinking that you were like a newer guy, but I would hope that. But I think the problem was you kept getting matched up with the newest people.
Yeah.
So I think it kept on making it look like you were like you were newer because you were working with them and trying to make them look good or whatever.
Because I don't know if it was Bryce. It was Bryce and Lucas that, like, after he went, I would go against him and then against the new guy. It's okay though. Like, either way, it's, I don't know. It was just a thing where, like, even if I told them afterwards that I almost had like a year in, but I feel like it made no difference regardless. Like, it's just, it's just a short seminar.
Yeah, and I heard they're going to do another one, he said, I think, right? This next one with a tag team?
Yeah.
What tag team is it?
I don't remember.
I don't remember the name at all. But yeah, it was odd, and but like I said, hopefully I'll get used to it. Next one, I don't know. Like I said, right now it looks like she's like if she doesn't work the day before, I think she does. But if she doesn't, I'll come in and at least help set things up and then just bounce out. I know I waited to take stuff down but then I was like, dude, like I remember telling you, like I got it, like my wife's been here with me all day. My son needs to get home. There's no way I could wait much longer because people were hanging out, and I don't know, when did they start clearing out where you guys got to put stuff down?
We finished by like 9:30.
Oh, that's not bad, because I think, you know, it ends about 8 o'clock. So I just was waiting, and it got to about 8:30ish, 8:40, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty packed up and stuff. But yeah, so hopefully I can either do one or the other, help put up, help take down. We'll see.
Yeah, for the first time when I was doing ring crew for like the main SPW show, like I kind of did the same thing you did at the end of the night. I was like, because I did had to drop off my brother, like he had to do stuff, and I told the person, and like that's what you have to be careful with, because like they're gonna want you eventually stay no matter what, like for the ring crew. But you know, I think that's what I'm pretty sure for like the next couple of new students that
that's
would
what
come, they would have the same thing.
That's what I asked Samurai, like, is it an obligation, like you have to do it? And he's like, oh, you just got to pay your dues. And then I get that, but I mean, that's the whole thing with me being older. I have a wife, I have a kid. Normally they're with me for the most part. My kid, he's, you know, 10, so he's at that age where he still needs someone to watch him, but he's old enough to, you know, be okay, I guess. But it's mainly for emergencies. You need someone to watch him. But so anyways, like I told Scoot yesterday, he was mad my phone was on, and I had to talk to him afterwards and say, like, I normally have it on silent, but it's on because I have to check, because my wife's phone will die in the car. And if our babysitter tries to get a hold of us, like, you know, if something's up with him or whatever, I have to have it on for him. And he said, that's no problem. So that's what I'm worried about. Like, you know, them saying that you have to do this, you have to do that. It's like, sometimes it's out of my hands. But I don't know. I guess what I'm interested in, what happened that night, was it pretty fast to get everything down? Was there enough people to help out?
Yeah, it's, you know, of course, the more the merrier, and it really depends. Like,
because putting it together, there wasn't too many. I think there was like 8 of us or so.
Yeah, I got there late because I thought.
It
was 11 o'clock.
It was weird. He changed it last minute, so it was weird for some people. But people did know, like Lupe knew, or I'm sorry, Guapo knew, Blaze knew.
Yeah. I literally, the funny thing is, I showed up at 11:45, like at the road, and I was like, "Hey, Lucas, we got here early. Let's go get something to eat." And we turned around and we were like, "Let's just try to find a gas station." It took me a long time, so I just U-turned over to a CVS and got like Pringles.
That's funny.
And when I came back, we got there at 12, and we were both confused. We were like, "Okay, the ring's already set up. What the hell?" It's like, "What time did you guys get here at 11?" They're like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, shit. I didn't know.
Yeah. When I pulled,
over here getting fucking Pringles.
When we got there, they're just pulling the planks out. So Bryson was already there, Blaze was there, and Guapo. So we started to bring out the planks and all that.
Yeah.
And then the other referee, the bigger referee dude.
Yeah, he threw me up. You know when you were saying like that some people like shake hands and they gave you the look that it was like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
I did that to him because I had no idea who he was. I'm
really?
Like, was there like a new student? Because
Because
Bryce and him threw me off. I'm like, man, it's 1 week sure feels like a long time. Not like in a rude way where I'm like,
right.
I kind of shook their hands as like.
He I don't know if
it seemed like a long time that there's 2 more extra people in the middle of February.
Yeah, he didn't shake my hand, but I did have the feeling of who is this guy, part of the show or whatever.
Yeah, apparently he was a ref from like 5 years ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he ended up helping us like near the end when we were like roping it up and stuff. So he was helping me with stuff like that. I mean, seemed like a cool guy, but yeah, it's just hard. Like it was hard for me to get reads on people and who like I'm very outgoing, very talkative. So it's kind of hard to see who and what is the best way to approach people, because some people don't want to be talked to, and it's kind of rough. But I feel like in the wrestling world, especially independents, you have to be somewhat courteous and just be somewhat talkative, because if not, you look like you're just being a dick basically to people.
Yeah, I'm sure people see me and they just know that I'm just quiet because I don't let me just sit in the corner and don't talk to nobody.
I think, and that's the way that I would like to play it up, but I'm so worried that people are not going to get to know my personality, because to be honest, I'd rather just sit back, learn, check in, clock in, do my job, clock out, be done. But, I feel like maybe since I'm not doing so great, I have to stand out somehow, some way, and show a little bit of my personality. But I think you doing what you do, it's your personality. It's the way you are. Yeah. And same way with me, it's like being a little talkative or whatever. But I'm so freaking tired and gassed from doing stuff. I barely say anything or whatever.
Yeah. I feel like... I'm gonna sound crazy when I say this, but I feel like my personalities conflict because like I'm extroverted and introverted. Oh. It's kind of complicated. That's why I'm like a bit socially awkward, because like I'm 52% introverted and 48% extroverted. Like that's from a personality test. So it just really depends who I talk to. Like right now, this is my extroverted self.
Right.
There's people out there that know me that literally never heard me talk.
Right.
So yeah.
I mean, it is interesting because there are people that don't really talk at all. And and it's not to be a rude thing. It's just literally a thing that you're just that way. But it's kind of weird that you have both of them. Do you know, does it help you with wrestling and stuff? Or is it harder in wrestling having both of those?
Well, it helps me in real life because I feel like people tend to gravitate towards quiet people because they think that they're good listeners.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's like a bad misconception what people have with introverts, because like there's some people that legit think I live in a cave or something. Like they think I stare at paint all day.
Yeah.
Like the other day, not the other day, but like a few months ago, they're like, do you have Facebook or anything? I'm like, I have Facebook.
Well, that's what I asked you too. I was like,
no, but that's different. You asked me for like contact, like cell phones and stuff like that. Yeah. This person asked me like,
are you a person? Do you socialize?
Like,
basically,
do you communicate with anyone?
Gotcha.
Yeah. In your case, you asked me, like I said, for like cell phone contact and like just contact and messaging.
Yeah, because a lot of people feel more comfortable having that wall up and having Facebook and not giving out a phone number. So I usually try to ask people if they have Facebook first, because like I'm like, is that the best way? Because some people just don't want their cell phone out. I could get two shits. I don't care, because I mean, worst case of what, they're weird and I ignore them. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I think it's not a bad thing to have for people to come to you and stuff like that. The only problem is they might come to you all the time to help out with their issues and stuff like that. And it is true too, like telling my wife like, yeah, I'm having Abraham come by, and it's like, I don't know much about him besides we talk we talk at practice. I don't know,
it's like small talk.
Yeah, and I was like, that's why I was asking you today, like, oh, where do you live and how or who do you live with and this and that, because you only know so much. I know you're a cool dude, I know you help me out, I know we get along, and I know you're able to help me without judgment and stuff like that, so it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I'll just wrap it up because we're ready to practice. I don't want to, but I need to practice a little bit. We'll see. But anyways, thank you for talking with us, and I'm signing off, and hopefully if you feel like hearing it again, you'll be able to hear it. Make sure if anyone does listen that we do this podcast, which we call Life is Full of It, where we talk about all kinds of bullshit. Then there's the Best There Is podcast we do once a month, where we talk about during that month all pop culture things. So coming up, we'll be talking about the DC movies that got announced, Ant-Man movie, and a couple other things. We'll have to get that all sorted out. I'm sure we will film that, because that one we film. in about a week or so. I'll have to see with my schedule and all that. But anyways, make sure you go like, subscribe, share. We'll be on YouTube and every place you can get podcasts. Thank you guys very much. Bye.